All right, time for weekly outlook. Pretty eventful last couple of sessions. Wednesday really blew me out the water. Not the greatest session there for me. Could have been a lot worse. Managed to save it a little bit. Just decided to take Thursday and Friday off. Potentially even Monday, although I'm leaning more towards looking to get position Monday. If there's no opportunity, then I'll wait till Wednesday. Yeah, Thursday or Friday. But volatility's back, right? At least for now. You're getting some pretty decent moves, aggressive moves intraday. Uh, right? So the levels here are going to be a little more spread apart. Yeah, we can, throw in a couple more levels like these single prints, this point of control. Um, right? And we can mention this intraday while we trade down to it or up to whatever level it might be. But, right, just have the main levels here for now. At least the really, really important ones, right? Well, these have the singles here, but um, yeah, pretty huge, massive day on Wednesday, right? But we have basically a double distribution on the week. Friday, we essentially came and went up to that halfback of that session, right? And essentially making it a double distribution. So that'll be the main focus, right? Let me pull up my pen tool. Right. So main idea is, do we, at least just looking at last week's profile, the main focus is going to be, are we going to stay within this lower distribution and risk potentially going lower, or are we going to be able to get out of it? We're going to find new buyers, right, to take us back at least to this and maybe make a new high, right? You got a poor set of highs up here. So that'll be like the main idea, right? Bigger picture idea, you have this really haven't gone anywhere, at least, within this range after the election. We kind of just erased that whole move, and kind of just trading in the middle of it now, right? So, which is essentially this main distribution up here. Right, and on the year, yeah, we can talk about it another time, or maybe on the yearly outlook when the time comes. But double distribution on the year, but arguably maybe a triple. Okay. But anyway, just this week, right? Just watching, or based off that idea, right, of that double distribution. Um, we're watching. At least I'm going to be watching this ESZ settle price, sort of close to Friday's highs. So we'll watch those highs basically. And then the lows will be 59.33, right? Session low, single prints on this Friday, right? And this shelf back here, and almost prior all-time high. So these will be like the two extremes that I'm gonna be looking to, get my trades off at, right? Because if we can start getting over here, and if we start seeing some bids above, I'm gonna be looking to take this back up to this, and ideally a sweep of this set of poor highs, and maybe for an extension target. Right. If you're willing to like put on maybe a little more risk, or maybe looking to trade intraday, I think this zone is gonna be like the most important when we pull back to Friday, and the end of day. Right, just this lower distribution, or this main distribution Thursday, sort of had these singles through it on Friday. So we already pulled back to Friday, but maybe we go a little lower and see some kind of reaction there, or maybe we do something like this to go lower and get position short there. But if we are getting positioned here, we're targeting these extremes, right? And then if you're willing to put on the risk, or I guess you can move your stops at that point, but the big move is ideally going to be this move past these two extremes, at least early in the week, right? And that's really what I'm going to be looking for. Downside target's just going to be this gap, really not much below, right? You've had like, I think the overnight low on Friday or Friday morning was like 70 something. But yeah, big targets, this one, and new highs. Okay. So whether we want to get positioned here for the move up to these extremes, or whether you want to trade the move through the extremes, right? obviously you don't want to have this fail. If it does fail, right, it's going to be a pretty easy move back down to this and most likely this. So yeah, just make sure moves are followed through. I really don't think there's any other place to really get involved on ES, and same thing with NQ. Essentially the same idea, double distribution on the week. If we just combine these last 3 sessions, you have the bulk of this distribution down here, which is sort of where these levels are set at, right? So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to. And NQ, there's like one more level here, which we can watch is like Friday's lower distribution, Friday's uppermost distribution, right? So currently trying to stay above it to try to work its way back up to this, but we'll see what happens into the open. So same idea as we just discussed on ES. This main distribution down here, this lower one, right? Look for the trade outside of this or below here, okay? And here's sort of where you can get involved to take it up to these levels or down to this levels, right? Or if we start failing this. If you want to hold runners to maybe you see this fail instantly and can take it here, just be cautious of any sideways activity within this and then don't get chopped around. Although it is a big range, right? Really, really playable. So there's opportunities everywhere when you have a range like this. Plenty of opportunity, right? Whether you get the immediate rejection off of this, or you do a little look above and fail, right? Maybe you get long, who cares? You shouldn't be risking too much on a break over a level. If it comes down, you see some aggressive selling into these highs, and you see this break back down on some thin prints, right? And some big sells. Watch it get back under that level, and that continuation lower, okay? So loads of ways to play this. It's just as a perma bull, I like to just play one side and keep it simple. I'm just gonna be waiting for this play, okay? Or maybe we trade down to this, maybe sweep this, and then do something like this to take it back up to the upper end of this range, right? So, even from my point of view, plenty of ways to play this, but preferably, right, the easy one, just be to get long off of here once we start seeing some new buyers step in. But really the same idea. Lower distribution, can we take it back up to the upper distribution, maybe make a new high? Or do we stay within this lower distribution and revisit lows on NQ here, or revisit this high volume node? I think the second highest point of control of the year. Yeah, second highest high volume node on the year. So I'll be watching that as like the main downside target, although I don't know if we'll see it early on in the week. But that's where I'm at on ES and NQ. RTYY I'm really not watching this week. Gold and crude though, interesting spots. Talk about crude first. So we're back into these 68s, these lower 68s at least end of last week. We're kind of bidding higher now, but would think we go see another test for these 67s. Eventually you're going to get a time where the 67s don't bid. That's really what I'm looking for a trade back down to like 50 something. Obviously we take it level to level, but that's just a bigger time frame outlook. But for now, looks somewhat bullish, right? Kind of had this balance area early in the week. We lost it. And then kind of reclaimed it end of day Friday and now trading above it. So I'd like to get short below 69.35s, really this upper distribution from Friday and then these pivot lows down here. Try to get short back below that, or likely to go test these most recent highs again in this shelf here, right? A couple lows there, a couple highs there. This 70.4 area. I know you had the contract roll, but I work with just levels, so if it does start to get back over these 70.4s, I think you're gearing up for a move up. Yeah, back up to this, which we didn't see on this leg up, right? Once we started trading over these 40s. So, at that point, maybe I flip bull and try to shoot this. But ideally, just try to get short below 69 threes and take this lower. Right, is sort of what I'm looking for towards these last couple pivot lows. Maybe we can even make this whole area kind of a zone right into the shelf on the composite as well. Right, 68 tens to 67 sevens. So this is going to be like the first main downside target. Obviously, like the huge downside target is going to be this like 65s. We haven't seen it yet, but weak lows, eventually it's going to give. There's no knowing when it's going to give, but perma bear on this one, and have been for quite some time. So I'm going to maintain that position until otherwise. Gold, bearish, I think for now. I think this leg, we could pop this higher or like a little bit, but I don't know if you're going to be seeing these all-time highs here. You have a gnarly set of singles up here and down here, and some really nice excess here. Right from this most recent pullback into that all-time high, although it's poor. Right. I think for right now, I'm looking for a short. If we do get a trade back into this high volume node here, right. You'll see your VWAP, anchored VWAP off the pivot, the most recent pivot high, and I believe this pivot high too. So that's sort of what I'm looking for on gold. The only issue with this 2660s to 70 level, you got a set of poor highs up here, which I think might need to get swept and maybe go trade to this set of singles or something, or this set of singles. In which case, like if I see weakness there, sure, I'll put it on again. But ideally, this is sort of where it happens, and then we really don't trade any higher. The same idea sort of happened up here into these 2750s, and it went a little higher, and I got taken out of my limit cells. It was a gorgeous opportunity once you wicked this last high, failed, and got the retest of it and offered, right? So maybe might have to wait for something like that to happen. Preferably get the clean reject of it to sort of get these big downside targets. But yeah, leaning a little more bearish on gold. But the beautiful thing with this is you can take this and get long over this excess high on Friday, right? Over these 2650 and take it up to this, right? So many trade opportunities just by looking at the profile. You play both sides. I prefer to like stick to playing one side once I start seeing something. But you can always do you, and sometimes I'm wrong. So willing to flip this week. I know I usually only play the long side on indexes, but if we ever get a fail over this high, or start building some value back below Friday's upper distribution, right? Maybe time for me to get positioned short for at least a little bit. I don't know if this downside's gonna, at least like duration wise, I don't think it's gonna last too long. If anything, I think down moves are just gonna be quick, and they'll still be aggressive, but I think they will be quick. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm leaning for now. Gonna remain light into the end of the year. Don't even know if I'll trade Monday. I'm leaning towards it, but I do like to get involved, or I would like to get involved sometime before end of the year. Just because we got some really, really nice levels to work with and some really nice ideas to work with. So yeah, be patient this week. Be willing to flip. If something changes, whether we look above something, look below and fail, or whatever it may be willing to flip. And I think we can be aggressive with our targets, right? Just because of how volatile it is. So excited for that. Hopefully it continues. But that's gonna wrap it up.